Once upon a time, owning a Toyota meant one thing: peace of mind. It was the brand your parents trusted, your neighbors praised, and your local mechanic admired for its bulletproof reliability. Whether it was a Corolla, a Camry, or a Land Cruiser, you could count on your Toyota to keep running. And running. And running. But something's changed. Today, murmurs echo through online forums, Reddit threads, and even dealership service bays. Toyota just isn't what it used to be. This is the story of how the king of reliability slowly started slipping, and why Toyota may no longer deserve the crown it wore so proudly for decades. Back in the 1980s and 90s, Toyota wasn't just building cars, it was crafting machines built to last. Their philosophy was simple: under-engineer performance, but over-engineer durability. They weren't the flashiest or the fastest, but Toyota vehicles had what mattered: dependability. Owners reported 300,000 plus miles with basic maintenance. Taxi fleets, delivery services, and entire nations trusted Toyota. And it wasn't luck. Toyota had what was known as the Toyota Production System, a revolutionary process focusing on quality control, constant improvement, Kaizen, and minimal waste. It became the gold standard in automotive manufacturing. But with time, something shifted. It didn't happen overnight. The first real cracks in Toyota's armor appeared in the late 2000s. In 2009 and 2010, the company faced its largest recall crisis ever. Over 9 million vehicles affected due to unintended acceleration issues, sticking pedals, and floor mat problems. Lawsuits followed, public trust wavered, and the once infallible brand image took a serious hit. Toyota paid nearly $1.2 billion in fines, not just for the defect, but for trying to downplay it. For a company once synonymous with transparency and trust, it was a devastating blow. The worst part? It wasn't a one-time fluke. Since then, recalls have become increasingly common. From transmission issues in the RAV4 to fuel pump failures in the Camry, a pattern began to emerge. Toyota wasn't just making mistakes, they were making them more often. As competition in the global car market intensified, Toyota did what many other automakers did: cut costs. But cutting costs in the wrong places can come at a price. To meet rising demand and stay competitive with newer brands like Hyundai and Tesla, Toyota shifted some production from Japan to the US, Mexico, and Southeast Asia. And while global expansion isn't inherently bad, it did mean losing some of that original production consistency. Suppliers were now under pressure to deliver cheaper parts. Engines and transmissions were designed with more complexity to meet emission and fuel economy standards, but often at the cost of long-term durability. The once overbuilt Toyota had now become just good enough. Another area where Toyota stumbled: technology. As the industry rushed toward infotainment systems, driver assistance features, and electric drivetrains, Toyota lagged behind. Then, when they did catch up, many customers found their new tech underwhelming, glitchy, or outright broken. For example, their Entune infotainment system has long been criticized for being slow, unintuitive, and outdated. Meanwhile, rivals like Honda and Mazda were offering better systems even in their base trims. Hybrid batteries used to be Toyota's stronghold, but even here, reliability concerns are mounting. Prius owners have reported premature battery failures, strange electrical glitches, and inconsistent power delivery, especially in newer models. And it's not just the hardware. Software updates, especially over-the-air ones, often lag behind competitors. Toyota feels like a decade behind Tesla in tech, without the bulletproof mechanical reliability they once had to compensate. A growing concern has been build quality. In the past decade, complaints about poor paint quality, cheap interior materials, rattles, and early rusting have steadily increased. A prime example? The Toyota Tacoma and Tundra frames. Toyota had to extend rust warranties and issue recalls after reports of entire truck frames rusting through prematurely, especially in colder climates. Transmissions in newer Corollas and RAV4S have also received criticism for jerky shifting and hesitation. These are not just isolated issues, They show up in consumer reports, JD Power rankings, and owner testimonials. The Toyota standard, once the benchmark for fit and finish, is now playing catch-up. As SUVs and crossovers dominated the market, Toyota quickly flooded their lineup with models like the RAV4, Highlander, Corolla Cross, and Venza. While sales boomed, reliability didn't. The RAV4 Hybrid, especially 2019 and 2020 models, has been plagued by high-voltage battery errors, faulty fuel systems, and electronic gremlins. Many Highlander owners reported power steering issues and suspension problems within the first few years of ownership. Why is this happening? Simple. In the rush to pump out more crossovers and hybrids, Toyota seems to have prioritized quantity over quality. New drivetrains were pushed to market faster, often with unresolved bugs that customers ended up paying for. Despite these issues, many still buy Toyotas. Why? Because the myth of Toyota reliability runs deep. And to be fair, Toyota still makes some very solid vehicles. The 4Runner, Tacoma, despite its age, and some Lexus models still hold up well. But many buyers don't realize they're buying into a legacy, not a current reality. The Corolla of 2025 is not the same bulletproof sedan your uncle drove in the 90s. Brand loyalty has created a cushion, delaying accountability. But online communities and review platforms are making it harder for Toyota to hide behind past glory. In the past, Toyota didn't have to try very hard because the competition wasn't close. But today, Hyundai and Kia are building cars with bold styling, packed with features and surprisingly strong reliability scores. Mazda has become the new driver's brand, delivering sharp handling with upscale interiors. And Tesla? Love them or hate them, they've changed the game. Toyota's late entry into EVs has made it look like a laggard in innovation. Worse still, newer brands are listening to customer feedback. Toyota? Many argue it's coasting. But all is not lost. Toyota is still capable of building great vehicles. The new Prius, for instance, is stylish, efficient, and reportedly more refined than ever. The upcoming Land Cruiser 250 aims to recapture the old-school off-road spirit while bringing modern reliability back into focus. And under Akio Toyoda's leadership, there's been a push to rediscover driving passion, to make cars that are fun again. Still, fixing trust takes time. Toyota must prioritize durability and transparency over rapid sales and flashy tech if it wants to reclaim its reputation. Toyota is no longer the most reliable brand in the world, not because it can't be, but because somewhere along the line, it chose not to be. Legacy is powerful, but it can also be dangerous. It creates expectations. And when reality no longer meets those expectations, customers notice. Toyota now stands at a crossroads. Will it return to its roots or continue down the path of mediocrity disguised in old glory? Only time will tell. But for now, it's clear. The once unbreakable Toyota armor has cracks, and the world is watching.